In the small, fog-shrouded town of Ravenswood, whispers of an ancient curse have lingered for generations. The townsfolk spoke in hushed tones about the witches of Hollow Creek, a coven said to have been wronged and executed during the witch trials centuries ago. Despite their tragic end, it's believed their spirits never left, bound to the land by an insatiable thirst for vengeance. Every October, as the leaves turned a fiery red and the nights grew longer, strange occurrences would send shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls in Ravenswood. Unexplained shadows darted between the trees, and eerie laughter echoed through the mist. It was during this time that a group of high school friends, eager for thrills and armed with a newfound interest in the paranormal, decided to uncover the truth behind the legends. At the center of this tale was Emily, a spirited and curious 17-year-old who was determined to prove that the stories were just that, stories. Alongside her were her best friends, Jake, the skeptical prankster, Sarah, the quiet yet brave bookworm, and Marcus, the tech-savvy investigator with a knack for debunking myths. Together, they planned to spend a night at Hollow Creek, where the witches were said to have met their fiery fate. With flashlights in hand and nerves of steel, they ventured into the heart of the forest, the air thick with anticipation and a hint of fear. As they approached the clearing, the temperature dropped and an eerie silence enveloped them. It was here, under the pale light of the full moon, that the true horror of Ravenswood would reveal itself, forever changing the lives of those who dared to disturb the restless spirits of Hollow Creek. As Emily and her friends stepped into the clearing, the full moon cast an ethereal glow over the ancient stones that marked the site of the witch's final moments. The air felt heavy, as if it was charged with a palpable sense of dread. Jake, always the jokester, tried to lighten the mood by making exaggerated ghostly sounds, but even his laughter seemed to fall flat against the oppressive silence. "Cut it out, Jake," Emily whispered, her voice trembling slightly. "This place is creepy enough without your theatrics." Sarah, clutching her worn-out copy of local folklore, flipped through the pages, her eyes scanning for any information that might help them understand what they were up against. According to the legend, the witches were accused of dark magic and condemned to die here, she said. They vowed revenge with their last breaths, cursing this land and anyone who dared to trespass. Marcus set up his equipment, hoping to capture any signs of paranormal activity. His EMF meter beeped softly, indicating a fluctuation in the electromagnetic field. "Guys, I think we're picking up something," he said, his voice tinged with excitement and fear. Suddenly, the ground beneath their feet seemed to shift, and a cold breeze swept through the clearing. The temperature plummeted, and the friends huddled closer together. Emily's flashlight flickered, casting long, dancing shadows that played tricks on their eyes. "Did you hear that?" Sarah asked, her voice barely audible. They all strained to listen, and sure enough, a faint whispering surrounded them, as if invisible voices were chanting in an ancient, forgotten tongue. Emily's heart raced as she tried to pinpoint the source of the whispers. "This can't be real," she muttered, more to herself than anyone else. But the fear in her friend's eyes told her that they were all experiencing the same thing. Without warning, a figure materialized at the edge of the clearing. Dressed in tattered, old-fashioned clothing, she seemed to glide rather than walk. Her eyes, hollow and dark, locked onto the group. The chanting grew louder, and the air thickened with a sense of malevolence. "Who dares to disturb our rest?" the figure intoned, her voice echoing unnaturally. "You have trespassed on sacred ground, and you will pay the price." Panic set in as Jake tried to step forward, his bravado faltering. "We're sorry," he stammered. "We didn't mean any harm." The apparition's expression twisted into a grotesque smile. "Harm has already been done," she hissed. "The curse of Hollow Creek demands blood." Emily's mind raced, trying to think of a way out. "Wait!" she shouted. There must be a way to break the curse! What do you want from us?" The figure paused, her eyes narrowing as if considering Emily's plea. "To break the curse, you must find the truth. Only then will you be spared." With that, the figure vanished, and the oppressive atmosphere lifted slightly. The friends exchanged fearful glances, knowing they had no choice but to unravel the mystery of the witches of Hollow Creek. Their night of adventure had turned into a desperate quest for survival, and the clock was ticking. Determined to uncover the truth, Emily and her friends regrouped, their fear momentarily overshadowed by a sense of urgency. "We need to find out what really happened here," Emily said, her voice steady despite the terror gnawing at her insides. They searched the clearing, looking for any clues that might explain the witch's curse. Sarah, thumbing through her book, stumbled upon a passage that described a hidden diary buried near the site, said to contain the witch's final words. "It's supposed to be buried under an old oak tree," she read aloud. With renewed hope, they scoured the area until they found the ancient tree, its gnarled roots twisting like skeletal fingers. Digging feverishly, they unearthed a small, weathered box. Inside, wrapped in decaying cloth, lay a leather-bound diary. Emily opened it carefully, the pages brittle with age. The entries painted a picture of innocent women wrongfully accused, their lives destroyed by fear and ignorance. In their final entry, they spoke of their innocence and the dark secret of the town's founding families, who had orchestrated the trials to cover up their own misdeeds. "We need to reveal this," Emily said, her voice filled with determination. "The truth needs to come out." As they prepared to leave the clearing, the ghostly figure reappeared, her expression softer, almost grateful. "You have found the truth," she said. "Now you must share it. Only then will our souls find peace." Back in Ravenswood, Emily and her friends presented the diary to the local historian, who was stunned by the revelations. The town held a public meeting where the diary was read aloud, the truth about the witches finally coming to light. The townsfolk listened in shock, their ancestors' sins laid bare. The following night, Emily and her friends returned to Hollow Creek. The atmosphere was different, lighter, as if a great weight had been lifted. The ghostly figure appeared one last time, her form shimmering in the moonlight. "Thank you," she whispered, before fading into the night, her spirit finally at rest. Years later, Ravenswood became known not for its haunted past, but for the bravery of a group of friends who dared to uncover the truth. The story of Emily and her friends became a local legend, a reminder that sometimes the scariest thing of all is facing the past. But every October, on the anniversary of their adventure, whispers still float through the trees of Hollow Creek as if the spirits are watching, waiting. And some say on a quiet night, if you listen closely, you can hear the faint sound of chanting, a reminder that the past is never truly gone. It lingers just out of sight, forever a part of the town's fabric. In the end, the curse was broken, but the mystery of Hollow Creek remained, a testament to the enduring power of truth and the lingering shadows of the past.